introduction to myself, my personal background, I was born and grew up in Switzerland. My dad is a doctor, Swiss, and my mom is from Holland, but a physiotherapist. So I already had a certain medical background. As of today, my older brother is an MD, and my younger brother is a doctor of psychology. So I just got surrounded by doctors. I personally, though, I remember I was on the, like, my question was, do I go to the medical field too and become a doctor or a psychologist? And the third option was a teacher. And for some reason, I chose to be a teacher. So I studied music and mathematics and sport. I finished in 2014, worked for like a year and a half. And I had a moment in my life where I was like, I felt this, like, if I keep doing this, I know I'm going to be working as a teacher for 30, 35 years, eventually have kids and all that, but be done with 65, 70. And I felt like that's not going to be fulfilling in a way. So I decided to take a step back and start traveling. And what was supposed to be a 1-year travel became a little bit more than a year. And eventually I never went back to teaching in Switzerland. So that was unexpected, but very, very cool. Because in 2017, after visiting 5 continents, I came to Central America, which was not on my list at all. But I had this this vision, this idea that I have to go there anyways. So I did. I booked a flight to Guatemala and stayed here for 6 weeks. And I thought it's just going to be another 6 weeks of travel. But after 4 weeks, I ran into this very interesting person who is a doctor and who has these like strange machines that seem to do something, but they're not chemical. They are with frequencies. And so I'm, as a mathematician and a music teacher, I was like, oh, cool, frequencies. I know a little bit about that. So I got interested. And obviously I got more interested because it was, so frequencies somehow are supposed to heal people. So, or heal diseases, or help heal diseases, maybe I should say. So I got hooked immediately. And what was supposed to be 6 weeks turned into, well, what is it now? 4 years. Yeah. So still here, still working with those machines. I learned a lot in those 4 years. And after like 2 years, I remember one day, so what we started to do is we would just take those machines, the Spooky 2 machines, and go into villages and set up clinics for poor people. And it was all for free. So we would just work every day and set up the spooky machines and diagnose people and treat them with certain frequencies. And so it was many days, a lot of patients. And so after 2 years of doing this, I remember one day where we didn't have food because our work was just like helping, and so we wouldn't get paid. So eventually there was days where we didn't have a lot of food. And I remember one day where I didn't eat, and I was a little bit agitated, as people can be when they're hungry. And my friend told me, well, you know, there's still things you can be grateful or thankful for, because you have a bed over your head, and a lot of people in this country don't. And angry as I was like, yeah, but I'm still hungry, but I get it. And eventually thought, it's true, I can be very thankful for that. And he said, well, we might as well call us the 1Q Club. And I thought it was a brilliant idea. 1Q Club basically means 1 quetzal. So we will be down to 1 quetzal, which is the local currency. And yeah, we will be like, you know, if we have 1 quetzal, we still keep going. So that's why we're calling ourselves the 1Q Club. This is our little logo. And so yeah, we've been working with these machines for 4 years now with especially indigenous people. So our mission is actually to go out and set up free clinics to help people. There's about 25% of people here have diabetes, and there's a lot of other problems, but that's one of them. And so here you can see a typical clinic that was last year during the pandemic, where we have the diagnosed, and then we have 2 people that get a treatment because we had 2 spooky machines. And we do have some magnet pulsars as well. And so we're just setting up these machines, and what eventually, like, so it would start with maybe 5-10 people, and then it would just grow and grow. And I think the day with the most people last year was about 60 people. And for 2 people to work, it's a lot of work. But we had a lot of people get better, get improved, especially from gastrointestinal problems, be it any infections with bacteria, diabetes, cancer. And just as an example, this is one person. She was 93 years old, and I just think it's an amazing story because her family already bought the coffin because, as you can see, she didn't look very good. She had a pneumonia, and her blood pressure was 50 above 40, so it wasn't good. And so they thought she's gonna die that night, and they called us over anyways. And so we went, and as you can see here, we put her on the sticky pads and run a diagnosis, and it showed us something called Q fever, which is a bacterial infection from chicken and other animals. And they had chicken in their houses because that's how they live here. And so she got infected and had a pneumonia, and we took care of her. So we went there every day. And so this is after 10 days, she's back up, happy, laughing, and she still wants to go dance with me. That's what she said. Hasn't happened yet, but who knows. But anyways, so it's one of those stories that I'm very excited about because it actually showed that people really can recover with the help of frequencies. Okay, very quick. So my experience with the Spooky 2 scalar, I think we had the first machine in Guatemala. I'm not totally sure of that, but I'm pretty sure. We got a donation from a very kind person, so we could buy a Spooky 2 scalar machine. And I remember it got stuck in the customs here because normally you pay about 50% in fees for electronics. And so, but they didn't know what it was, and we didn't have the like $500 to pay. So we would just not say anything. And eventually they were like, you know what, just pay us $100. I don't know what this is, but we're tired, like we want to move this out. So we paid $100 for the taxes, and we got the first machine in Guatemala. And so my personal experience is I really, really enjoy sleeping in it. I remember the first night, it just felt like the sleep is more profound. And like getting up, it feels like I'm more energized. It's easier to get up and I feel more energized. And so I slept in it for a couple of months, didn't have any side effects. And then at the time I thought I didn't feel it anymore, but then I remember I had to move for a couple of days and I didn't sleep in the field, and the sleep was like so much worse. So I just got used to it, but it really helps with sleep. And then we had some success stories during the last year. So for example, we had a pancreas cancer patient. He was in I don't know what stage it was, but pretty serious. He went to a lot of doctors, and he came to us as like a last hope, like the last thing to try. He was pretty bad. He could barely walk. And we put him on the scalar machine. And what we did is we put some supplements on the plates and did some biofeedbacks, and then did some treatments with frequencies. And eventually, after 5 days, we did another scan, and it wouldn't show up anymore. So there wasn't any cancer marks. We said, well, the machine says that, but we're not sure. So we just keep going with the treatments. But after a month, we would go back to where he lives, and he would do a test in the local hospital, and he would do 2 biopsies, and it wouldn't show any cancer marks. So that was pretty cool. Another case was a friend from the States who had the COVID, and he was very ill, couldn't breathe. He felt like he can't breathe, and so he called us in emergency, and we didn't know really what to do. So we just put him on the phone, and we put the phone on the plate, and we would just talk to him for like 45 minutes. And on the other side, we put on vitamin C, vitamin D, other supplements, and just talk to him for like an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. And did that the next day again, and he got better. So that's just a story. another story with another friend from California, who himself is a healer, and he had on a sudden this stroke, and he wouldn't feel his left side anymore. So it was all like getting numb, the left leg and the left arm. And we just said like, well, the only thing we can do is put you on this machine. And so we did the same, phone on the plate and supplements on the other plate, and talked to him for 45 minutes. And the phone will get really, really hot though. So that is a side effect. But interestingly, he felt much better immediately. And so again, we did it twice, and he got better. So the stroke, he feels his left side again, and everything is good. He walks, everything good. Another friend of ours who lives here has non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he came to us as well while we were at the beach doing the clinics, and he would travel all the way from the city to the beach just to get a treatment with the machines. And he got so excited, so he bought the whole equipment himself. He bought the Scalar and the spooky machines and everything, and he's sleeping in it ever since, and he's excited. And his tumor that he had here is gone, but we haven't done any testing on like blood tests or anything if the cancer has totally disappeared. But so these are like just personal experiences. These are two of the patients, and this is another one that just recently happened. This is a grandma that lives here. She is 92, and she couldn't walk for 6 years. And her dream was to walk once in her life again. And so what we did is, as you can see here, I put her on another machine from Spooky 2, the cold laser. But the cold laser. But we also put the Scalar just around her bed, and put some remedies on there and melatonin to sleep better. And so after a week, 2, she felt a little bit better. And then it was about 3 weeks, on a sudden she would like just get up and walk to the toilet. And you just get up and did 2-3 steps, and realized that she actually wasn't supposed to be able to walk. So she's like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to walk. So she sat back down. But it was like this really, really amazing moment, because like, yeah, she walked. So now I'm gonna just go real quick, 2 minutes, to what we do with these machines. So again, I've been working here now for 4 years, and we set up clinics. And here's just a little random snippet from last year during the pandemic. Good day. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of May, and it has been raining just a tad last night. And because it has been raining, everybody in town is looking for some crabs crubbling around in town. So there's, as you can see, about 10 people. It's mainly the people that are A, really sick, or B, like Walter, just had an accident and can't really walk too far in order to find crabs. Everybody else in town is probably hunting for crabs right now. So we enjoy the day because it's not too crazy. There's only about 10 people, as you can see. And here is another random little snippet from one of the people that we diagnosed, and then you see 2 people that getting a treatment. So the person here is getting a diagnosis, and these 2 are getting a treatment. So what we would do is we will combine the Spooky 2 as a diagnostic option, and then look what would show up. And so he's a doctor, so he would obviously have the know-how, and then we would just like analyze and see if they respond to the diagnosis. So if it would show up candida, we would look at the tongue, ask if they're like tired a lot, stuff like that. So that's how we did the clinics, and we had some pretty amazing results.